So front end is kind of our sales and administration area. We've got a sample display. We make so many custom things that it's pretty handy to just be able to, customers ask, hey, what about this? Or hey, pull something off the shelf, show them an example of something we've done. None of these are set like products like you buy off the shelf. Everything is customized. What material it is, what the imprint, what the size is, how it's bent, something like that. A bend finish so it can stand on its own. A box with a custom clear window so that the product can show through. All kinds of just really unique things. We've got a magnetic board that we add magnets to a lot of things to kind of show that stuff off.
How involved are you in the design part of all that? Do the customers mostly come to you with the full design already, or do you guys consult on that, or is it just a lot of back and forth?
So we're very little on the design side. A lot of customers either come to us with something they already know what they want, and we figure out a way to fabricate it. Some of it is consultative. They have a concept of what they want. They know the material, or they know the size. They know where they want it. They don't know how to hang it. So we've got to kind of figure those kind of things out. But we don't have a lot of that direct out calling on businesses and selling them on ideas of ways to get their product out. We work with a lot of agencies, a lot of brokers, resellers who know we're very good at what we do, and they can come to us with their idea or their good plans or drawings, and we'll figure out a way to prototype it and then be ready to go a full run when they want the full boat. I'll show you one of my favorite things that catches a lot of attention. So you can kind of see they're kind of blocked off, but those are doors, and those have reliefs to them.
Oh.
So you've got Spider-Man, and you can kind of make out Han Solo and Carbonite, but that is printed directly to the door.
What?
Yeah. So
they're not wrapped. They're printed on the door.
Printed right to the door. And the Spider-Man, that print is probably 12 to 15 years old. Han and you'll see a couple others throughout the shop are a little younger, but it's dry to the touch. It's good to go. It's pretty long lasting.
How long does that take
to print it?
Yeah.
So when I first got started in this 14 years ago, something like that would probably take 30 to 45 minutes to print. Now, 4 minutes.
Wow. 4 minutes.
What? Yeah. And that's printing at a high quality mode, where we'll do other types of projects where we can print actually larger pieces than that, and we will be down to 60 to 90 seconds. Like if we really crank it up, if we have a high volume.
That's incredible.
And you'll get to see some of that stuff.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So
Ben will be bringing a door to you here tomorrow.
Bring it down. So we have a lot of customers who have parts, things that they manufacture. So they will provide us a part. So this is a casing, and then they want their maybe product information, their company brand, that logo, maybe some kind of warnings things. So we'll take this and we'll print directly to it. We get to kind of do a lot of our own kind of cool things. So we printed our own custom dartboard. So for our Christmas party 2 years ago, every employee's got a chance to throw darts and earn prizes and win. We brought a lot of new equipment in, so different, more efficient ways and more consistent ways to cleanly produce things. With our metal, we start out with full raw sheets of material, and we're shearing it down, and we're cleaning it, and then printing it, and then it comes back over to this side where they're cutting them down to individual pieces, maybe radius and corners, punching holes in it, putting adhesive on the back, all kinds of steps that go into kind of making that final label.
Is that stainless?
So we deal with some stainless, but mostly all of this is all aluminum. Aluminum is the vast majority of what we do, and we have a special type of printing. It's a kind of a niche market for us, anodized aluminum. So when we print it, that ink is kind of sealed into the aluminum. So you can take a screwdriver and scratch at it, and that ink isn't going to chip off. That metal will fail before the print itself will fail. So we can keep a pretty decent level of inventory. So if a customer orders 500 parts, we might run 525 or something. So if they need a few extras, we've got them, or they reorder down the road, we've got some examples left from before, so we can pull and make sure that our next run matches what the previous order was, ensuring good consistency. And sometimes customers, they have flaws in their inventory management, and the production cycle on something like that might be 10 to 15 business days, and they didn't realize it, and they ran out running really low, so they need some in a hurry. Well, instead of having to pay a massive rush charge for us to drop ship, drop everything and make their stuff, you go, hey, we got 50 on the shelf, we can get out tomorrow. So that buys us, the 2 or 3 week normal production time we need, and then everybody wins. So good examples. Seen street pole banners. We make those all over town. COVID really changed a lot of our business in some regards. We have done a lot in the events, trade show, sports, things like that. Those were have been a constant source of business for us. And when COVID hit, trade shows and live events just stopped. Yeah. And so we pivoted and we started making a ton of floor decals, social distancing, 6 feet apart. We did a bunch of those. We got into making the acrylic shields. We came up with a pretty good design. So a number of local companies, we were able to provide multiple locations with nice acrylic shields that were easy for them to assemble, reasonable price, not breaking the bank, provide the what met CDC guidelines for protection for their employees and customers. Sure. And that kind of that carried a lot of the it didn't offset everything we had lost in the event side, but it picked up a lot of it, so it kept things moving. But then on that same token, our metal, the manufacturers that are buying the metal labels, a lot of high-end stove manufacturers, so all these people couldn't travel, and they're like, oh, well, let's take that budget and let's put it into redoing our deck and putting in a new nice fireplace. So those customers were ordering labels like crazy. We couldn't keep up with them. And so that, while the digital side that does the event stuff, that started to lag, this shop side shot up. We'll go over here so you can actually see that. Any of you guys done any screen printing in your life? T-shirts or anything?
Yesterday.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
The screen printing T-shirts was kind of how I got into the whole printing side of things.
Oh, okay.
And I was the one doing the manual pushing the squeegee over there. And oh man, that is an art form. We run a couple of different types of ink, and our equipment is for the most part automated. So you can see the people themselves are not pushing the squeegees. It's machine operated. We've got a foot pedal there stepping that's pushing the squeegee and pushing the ink through. These two machines, you see on the belt they're putting on, it's got a light down there. That ink is cured by ultraviolet lamps. So it's dry to the touch. It's an environmentally sustainable print method, and from us an efficiency standpoint, it's good. It processes fast and it can go out the same day. So everything you've seen, that's kind of all the shop side, the screen print side. That's what IGN was traditionally built on. And in 2010, I think, IGN acquired my old company, which was on the large format digital side. And I brought all of my equipment and all of my people at the time, and we came over and added this component to IGN, which really diversified two companies into one with a much broader spectrum, very little customer overlap, that 10, 12 years later grew way beyond what we ever imagined.
Sure, yeah.
You guys have familiarity with inkjet printers, home office?
Yeah.
Same exact concept, is just on kind of steroids. So so we have project managers that almost everything that goes through this side of the shop the file gets reviewed, prepped, ticket through our system. Here's how it's going to be finished. Here's when it's due. All that stuff. They operate out of this hub. They are probably our most creative group of the shop, and so they took it upon themselves. They found some great imagery. We do a ton of wall murals. We wrap vehicles, we wrap walls. These are great examples. So they found that outer space type of image and just built a template of of all four walls, where the doors were, kind of aligned their art where they wanted. And then we have an installer who he works for us, and he'll do stuff both in, customers will bring rigs and vehicles to the shop, or we'll send him out on site and put stuff up in crazy situations.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
These three machines are all the same manufacturer, same ink set, so we can run, we get massive jobs. We have multiple machines we can run it on to hit even crazy deadlines. So nice quiet machines. These are all eco-solvent, so we have a lot of environmentally sustainable initiatives and processes and materials that we can incorporate into projects. So having mild solvents as opposed to full solvents is certainly better. This is not great still. There are better ways to do this. But for like vehicle graphics, we've tried a bunch of different types, and we keep coming back to this, that just for that long-term, viable, durable stuff you can count on that's going to last as long as that vinyl that's rated for 7 years, it's these machines. They do it. They do the job. The amount of different materials and things we have to inventory is kind of crazy. We also do a lot of cut vinyl, so if you see like on a retail stores, you know, they have their logo, ours. A lot of times it'll be something like this where it's actually pigmented vinyl, and so we take it and we've got a plotter, we just cut it and weed away the excess, put some tape over it, and then you go plaster it right on the door. So the book of colors available, and then you can get into different sizes, different widths of rolls can be quite onerous. See ya. Thank you. Almost everything that comes off of those machines are going to go through this area for finishing. We got most of that stuff is going to get an over laminate. Either gives it a satin gloss or matte finish. Gives it UV protection, a little more abrasion protection, things like that. All of these things on these walls are things that people in our shop found the artwork online, something that interested them, and they said, let's print it for ourselves. And if you're a Seahawks fan, right above you.
Yes, sir.
That's a print to a foil.
I mean, what a cool thing for your employees, though. I mean, like they get to do, they get to leave their mark, you know. So.
And you know, like so we're totally random. We've got a customer that came to us and said, "Hey, we're buying a bunch of these coolers that I think they're giving them out for employee morale type things." And they said, "But we want our logo on it." And we've had enough experience with coolers and plastics to know there's some plastics that are really hard to stick to. So we said, "Well, we've got ideas, but we need to get one of the coolers and test it." And we probably went through 6 vinyls before we went to our ultimate highest strength and found something that our installer was comfortable saying, yeah, this will work, and we can stand behind this staying on this material. So this is going to have a nice big logo on the top and another logo that's going to wrap around the edge. So it'll be an install. It'll be a fun install one. It'll be a couple of days worth of installing for doing 130 or so of those.
Yeah, that's cool.
So kind of a will call pickup area for our big stuff for our customers. You know, we do the dimensional letters. A lot of businesses have you know, that reception area, and when you walk in, having something that you know is dimensional, stands off, good branding, just adds an element of professionalism. What are the things that we can do for small business owners or help them? That for pretty reasonable costs. Something like that, of having your logo when somebody behind reception, when somebody walks into your company. If you don't have something like that, it can stand out. So we have the big machines that run the big prints, and almost everything that prints off of these, we've got a digital die cutter. So when I first got into this, everything was getting trimmed by hand and stuff, and so it's evolved quite a bit.
What
so
is that?
We've got a digital
Wait,
die
what is
cutter.
that?
We came up with a cool concept. So Kevin here runs our operator.
I know these guys.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So we thought we'd have a little fun to kind of show off the equipment. It's hot off the press. He actually just ran that, but it goes off those UV presses, so it's dry to the touch. It's good to the go.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to read these black registration dots, and if you wouldn't mind stepping back just a sec, he's gonna give you a little cutting visuals. It's just a good example of how technology has evolved to make us more efficient. You know, both with speed but with also quality. You know, as long as it hits these registration marks, and it won't cut if it doesn't hit them, but the accuracy we get in cutting is just super precise. So it's going through and it's reading all those black dots, making sure it's where it's supposed to be. Checking all those. That worked well. It read them all as it should. That's a good sign.
Off all that bleed over off of it as well. That's cool.
Yep. It's got a vacuum in there that's going to suck all that most of the excess away. We'll still do a little cleanup and stuff on a lot of pieces before they go out, but it depends on what the material is too. But and so then when something will be prepped, printed, cut, it'll go to the back for QC. same, might get adhesive or Velcro or something put on the back, then it gets packaged up and goes out for a pickup or put on display.
How thick can this cut?
2 inches? Pretty thick? Just under 2 inches.
Wow.
Which is about as thick as we can print a little, right around 2 inches on the flatbeds as well.
Wow.
There you go.
Awesome.
Are you kidding me? That is fantastic. Look at that.
Awesome.
That is killer, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we'll set this up in the background. Kevin is a big beer fan himself, so I was telling him a little bit about you guys and stuff. So, yep. So,
Was that?
Most definitely.
Walking
Oh,
man.
no, that was one of our early
Walking Man.
mysteries.
Yeah.
We had that on the show actually.
did you really?
I'm gonna have to look at the podcast.
That was early. That was
Okay.
an early
All right.
one.
All right. Cool.
Awesome.
Look it up.
All right, there you guys go.
Oh, that is so cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
This is so as stuff comes off the press. This is kind of his station, either here or on the table. He has a list of tickets and digital stuff and everything, and so he's going to look at this. He's going to find this sheet. It's got information that he'll use to cross-check against the ticket. And go, yep, this is what it looks like. It's the right thing, and he'll get it cut up. You guys been to Big Al's?
Oh yeah.
So I met that crew kind of in the final stages of the first Vancouver one opening, and so we weren't in position at that time to do stuff for them. But when they opened Beaverton and Idaho, they had us do the murals in the sports bar area behind the TVs and everything. Those were massive projects. Cool. But a couple good banner examples: Adidas campaign, massive retail rollouts. They'll have Dick's Sporting Goods all over the country. Adidas pays for a campaign. They want their stuff marketed, their athletes marketed. So we've got 350 stores, and so each store is going to get 15 pieces. You got to print them, kit them, pack them, and ship them.
Wow. Man. I don't know what I was expecting, but I am blown away. What an operation you guys got here. Yeah. So awesome.
That's kind of one of the things. I mean, at the base level, we'll make basic signs and banners. There's so much more, and it's a good thing when we can have people interested. They'll come up and take a tour and see what's at their disposal, because they'll think of us for basic things like that. But they might be running for public office, so they get campaign signs for us. Sure. But they are, they work at a company that manufactures something that needs metal labels and the parts. They come in, pick up their campaign signs, see the metal labels, and they're like, "Oh wow, that turned into a lead for us." So I think that's between the nickel and dime tour.